today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about personality, being an introvert, and business, and specifically how I'm letting my personality, weaving it into my business as an introvert, because this is something that I have struggled with. And if you are sticking around to watch this, you may be in a similar situation. As an introvert, I often don't feel the need to share my personal viewpoints with the world, or maybe my passions and things like that. I don't often feel the need to have to share that to the outside world, because I don't tend to need somebody else's opinion on what I'm doing. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing. The stuff that I do fulfills me, makes me feel good, so I don't feel the need to then turn around and talk to other people about it. When it comes to business though, and building a relationship that leads to trust, and then leads to that like trust, and then people buy from you thing, that's where I need to let a little bit more of this out. And this is a process that I'm in. I'm doing a little bit now, and you will see more of this going forward, because half the part of me creating this video is kind of committing to this as something to do and a way forward. So before I dive into the details of what I'm doing to weave my personality, I've kind of got 5 things that I'm doing. I am just going to quickly introduce myself. I'm Tiffany from Tiffany G Studios. I'm a client attraction specialist. I help coaches, consultants, and service providers to stop stressing about finding clients and instead learn to attract them to you by being yourself. So if you're interested in what I'm talking about in this video, you could very well be interested in my group classes that I'm running. I run a few a month, and they're limited to 5 people, and it's a great place to come along and nut something out, and maybe work out how you too can put your personality into your business more, and kind of I'm thinking about how to word this because all I can think of these cliched things, but it's like, putting yourself out there, being a little vulnerable, and I don't know, letting people know a little bit more about you so that you can build up a stronger relationship that leads to people wanting to work with you. Okay, it is a surprisingly important piece of the puzzle, and as introverts, I know a lot of us, myself definitely included, it's so much easier to just focus on the work, and maybe the personality is not coming out quite so much. So if those group classes are something you're interested in, type group classes in the comments below. Or if while I'm talking about this you are inspired with ideas or you have questions, type them below and I will get back to you. I respond to everyone, although I'm on Australian time zone, so it may be a few hours, but you will hear from me. So let's dive into the 5 things I am doing. So the number 1 thing that I'm doing now, I kind of had this in a different order before, but I'm kind of putting this in a new order because I want this most important thing at the top, but it might have made more sense if I led up to it, but not everyone will watch to the end, and I think this one's really important. So one of the things that I'm doing is I am changing my offerings around so that I get to showcase my strengths, my unique strengths. And this is something that I help my clients with when it comes to client attraction as well, is working out what works for them and their unique personality. A place that I shine really well is in small group settings, kind of like a group accountability session or a group mastermind, where people come along and they ask me questions about their business, and they get the chance, and so I get to listen, answer questions, I get to give responses that work for them, I get to know them, I get to learn their personality, all that kind of stuff. It's somewhere that I shine really well, and I think that I'll probably shine there more than maybe doing webinars or big group classes and things like that. That's why I have these group classes, and I've got them limited to just 5 spots, and it's something that I'm trying out. And I think this is really important, could be for anyone, because to work out how you excel and how you can showcase your strengths for people and your unique personality. So that's one thing that I'm doing. The second thing that I am doing is actively telling people what I stand for and what I stand against. And this one hasn't been too hard for me to do over the years, although it was at first. But once you kind of have that courage and you make that leap and be like, here's what I stand for, here's what I stand against, it is invigorating to do it, and then it becomes easier. So things like, I don't believe in telling other introverts to get visible. In fact, just stop telling yourself that entirely. I hate that term. It's a case of that just keeps you stuck in your head thinking about yourself. Instead, tell yourself, who can I help today? So you're focusing on other people, and then how can I help more people? So to leverage it, right? Way, way easier than being, I've got to get visible, because otherwise you're pretty much just telling yourself you're invisible, and I don't believe that. And you don't need to create more blocks for yourself to overcome. So I hate that getting visible thing. So do you see what I mean? Taking a stand on things so that you stand out from the crowd is one of the things that I'm doing. And then the third thing that I'm doing is these things are a bit more on the personality side, and letting more of me show, is making weird jokes, or like letting my weirdness come out a little bit. So here's the thing. For years, I'd have jokes, or I'd think of funny things. It would amuse myself. I wouldn't feel the need to tell other people, because they probably wouldn't get it by the time I explain it. It's not funny anymore. The thing is, the more you keep doing that, the more you just train yourself out of it. Whereas I'm actually starting to put some of that stuff out there. Maybe people won't get it. That's fine. That's more than fine. But at least, like, I think leaning into it, the right people will get it, and it helps set me apart and put my personality out there. Okay. So some of my weird things, like, I love learning languages, and I talk multiple different languages at home, and I switch languages mid-sentence just to keep my husband, who's also an introvert, on his toes, so he doesn't just assume what I'm going to say, because after 10 years of marriage, he thinks he knows what I'm going to say all the time, and I like to keep him, on his toes. So little things like that I do at home that I'm going to try and work into my business. No, I won't start conversing in other languages, and I'm not very good at all of my languages either. I just love it, and it's fun. So yeah. The other thing that I'm doing is showcasing my love of film, television, and storytelling. You see, what I do for my clients is I create content, I do photography, I do video work, and for a long time I thought that I was going to be like a photographer or a director or a writer, and now I get to do all those things in my business. But my love of storytelling and film, I need somewhere for it to go, because I love it, and I think it all interconnects into what I do for clients. I think people can get that, so I'm starting to infuse that and making weird references to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all that kind of stuff, things like that, and whatever I'm watching at the moment. Right now I'm watching Hannibal. So yeah, all kinds of stuff that I just love, that medium and that storytelling. So the other thing that I'm doing, the final thing, is incorporating my passion for photography. So for the longest time, I thought that I was like business person by day, photographer by night. The thing about my love of business is that it often took over so much that I was like photographer never. So now I'm actively trying to blend these two a bit more. I'm using my own photography in more and more in my business, which for some reason I just thought I couldn't, because I wanted it to be art and different, and now like I'm blending that, and I'm just decided that people are just going to have to deal with me. I'm entrepreneur and photographer, and I like both. You're going to see content about both, especially on my personal Facebook feed. That has been the hardest. I haven't even posted there for months because I just didn't even know how to handle it and deal with it, so I just didn't. So these are the things that I'm doing to weave my personality into my business and use my unique strengths to strengthen my business. My strengths to strengthen, that's really good. That's great script writing there. You can tell I dot point and don't script out the whole thing, right? So anyway, those are the things that I am doing. Has this inspired you? I would love to hear from you below. Let me know, do you have ideas? What do you love that you could just like weave into your business? What could you be doing? I'd love to hear from you. Type it below. I'll definitely get back to you. I love to get chatting with people. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you have gotten a lot from it. And on Friday, I'm going to be doing a follow-up with my Facebook Live. So Friday, Australian time, Thursday night in US time. Watch out, I think it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern, US time, and 12:30 p.m. Friday in Australia. And I'm going to be talking about how to use your strengths as an introvert in your business. So we're going to be going into more of that good stuff. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, that's it from me. Bye for now.